In the early evening, gongs ring out throughout the village, announcing the beginning of a ritual. People gather toward the Lingong Temple in succession. Lingong Temple is an ancestral hall of the villages of Wunyo in Zhejiang Province. Here, they worship the local gods, hold sacrificial ceremonies, and arrange various events. Today is the 13th day of the Lunar New Year. It's the day for the Dragon Boat Lantern Parade and the most important day of the Spring Festival. Incense sticks and candles are burning before the temple. The villagers are all dressed in festival clothes. Seven o'clock in the evening is the auspicious time, and the praying ritual officially starts. The dragon singer starts to chant the traditional eulogies, praying to the gods for a prosperous new year. They also ask all the gods to join the parade. After the ritual, the procession sets out. A huge jewelry dragon dragged by a small diesel vehicle heads the procession. A long bench dragon pushed by dozens of villagers follows closely. The brilliant and glaring jewelry dragon captures everyone's attention. Everywhere it wanders through, men and women, It's already 9 o'clock in the evening, and the procession is still on the move. To the Wunyo villagers, this most bustling day of the year is only just getting started. Lin Xunkui starts his day every morning at 8 o'clock. The jewelry dragon is part of the intangible cultural heritage of Zhejiang Province. The 56-year-old Lin is the inheritor of this craft. To him, making jewelry dragons is not only an ancestral craft, but also something he enjoys doing.
My grandpa and grandma worked with this. I also like it very much. So now, I am making dragon lanterns and paper cuts. If I didn't like it, I would have quit years ago. There used to be many craftsmen working on this in Yueqing.
In Yueqing City, the custom of dragon lantern dancing in the first month of the lunar year has lasted for more than 400 years. It's a way for the populace to pray for luck and peace. The dance also bears the imprints of the elder generation. Yueqing is situated in the mouth of the Ojiang River, facing the East China Sea and leaning against the Yandang Mountain. It's a place endowed with the spirit of mountains and rivers. In the past, people's destinies were connected to the vast sea. The local residents made a living from fishing, but many died in shipwrecks. They were at the same time grateful to the sea and in awe of it. As a spirit medium between the gods and the sea, the dragon is always respected and worshipped. Dragon lantern dances are performed in the first month of the lunar year to ward off evil and ask for favorable weather for the crops.
Whether it's the bench dragon, the jewelry dragon, or a normal dragon lantern, they are all painted with characters symbolizing good weather, safety, and harmony. There are intense conflicts between people's desire to survive and the harsh environment. Thus, they want to be blessed by the gods and the dragon.
Different from other dragon lanterns, the jewelry dragon doesn't resemble a dragon at all, but rather imitates the shape of a fishing boat. It takes a piece of arc-shaped wood as its foundation and is turned into a dragon boat using bamboo canes and bamboo strips. A normal-sized jewelry dragon is 4.5 meters long, 3 meters high, and 2 meters wide. As the symbols of a dragon, there's a pearl being held in the mouth and long whiskers drooping down from both sides of the head. On the dragon body, there are pavilions with 5 to 7 floors. The whole dragon boat is decorated with over 70 delicate pavilions. On each floor of the pavilions, over 300 plastic figures portray more than 80 operas, like Journey to the West, The Investiture of the Gods, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and The Tale of the White Serpent. What's more, moving mechanical models simulating traditional occupations like ploughing, spinning and weaving, bean grinding, and rice cake making are also placed on the dragon. A gear assembly is installed inside the dragon, linking all the opera figures. With the rotation of the line shaft, all the plastic figures move and entertain the crowd. The name of the jewelry dragon has no relation to jewelry. It derives from the fact that during every lantern festival, the jewelry dragon is the first performance and is heavily adorned. These two meanings coincide with the Chinese characters shou and shi, which together form the word jewelry. Every year before the Lantern Festival ends, Lin Xunkui begins to prepare materials needed to make a new batch of jewelry dragons. A good many materials are needed and the process is very complicated. This has led some people to call this craft the craft of crafts.
There are more than 100 crafts involved in it. It combines carpentry, engraving, electricity, decoration.
Upon completion, the jewelry dragon can weigh as much as several hundred kilograms. The local mozo bamboo is planed into batten and strips of different sizes. The larger sized bamboo batten will be used to build the frame, while the smaller bamboo strips will be used to fasten the pavilions. The construction of the frame is the second step of the process. After several hectic days, the jewelry dragon frame is beginning to take shape. The next step won't begin until the frame has dried slightly and become fixed in place. The making of display stands can be undertaken while the frame is drying off. Paper cuts are the most important decorative part of the jewelry dragon, and also Lin's ancestral craft. This old house located in Dongsai village has a history of more than 100 years. It's also the home of several generations of Lin's family. The indoor wall is hung with portraits of Lin's grandparents, Lin's father, Lin Bangdong, and a wide variety of paper cut works, all telling the history of this family. Lin's family is a family of craftspeople. Jewelry dragons and paper cuts have been passed down from generation to generation. Lin's father is the representative inheritor of Zhejiang Yueqing paper cut, which is listed as a national intangible cultural heritage. Lin Xunkui himself is the fifth generation inheritor. Yueqing paper cuts derive from dragon boat flowers. It's a kind of paper cut used to decorate the dragon lantern. As recorded in the Yueqing County Annals, during the reign of Da De of the Yuan dynasty, people were playing and singing all night. Craftsmen cut paper on the streets to amuse people. That's at least 700 years ago. To the ancestors of the Yueqing villages, thin-line paper cuts were not only a form of decoration, but they also symbolized mysterious forces that could bring good luck and prevent calamities. Thus, paper cuts are placed on the jewelry dragon in the hope of attracting prosperity and safety.
At that time, paper cuts were called dragon boat flowers. This is the earliest appearance of paper cuts. Since then, paper cutting became common. People gathered around to watch the dragon boat parade. and different villages competed to make the best works. The art of paper cuts was attached more and more importance, and people made more and more detailed works.
Different from the plain and bold northern style, Yueqing thin-line paper cut features a delicate style. The knife is used to its utmost. The pattern is rich but neatly arranged. As many as 50 thin lines can be carved on 1 inch of paper, each as thin as a human hair. The dragon boat flower on the jewelry dragon is a culmination of the paper cut. Various folk patterns, including opera figures, flowers, and birds, appear on every part of the dragon lantern. The exquisite detail and the beauty of the hollow dragon are self-evident.
You could say Lin Bangdong is the best paper cut craftsman in Yueqing. He was given the title Master of Chinese Arts and Crafts. His thin lines are perfect. During my everyday work in the factory, I always spare some time to come to him for advice.
Lin Bangdong is 87 years old now, and his health doesn't allow him to practice his craft anymore. His fuzzy memory doesn't allow him to recall much of the past, except for the honor paper cuts once brought him. His bedroom is crammed with his works and accolades. As an important decoration of the jewelry dragon, paper cut is also a craft Lin Xunkui started to learn from his parents when he was a child.
Paper cuts is my family's ancestral craft. I was influenced by my mother when I was 5 or 6 years old. My father also worked on paper cuts in a wood carving factory. I played around with the knife and made random strokes now and then beside my mother. Little by little, I got the idea.
In thickness and 5 millimeters in width. Each knife has a different function. Over a dozen knives are used to finish just one complicated paper cut. After the tools are prepared, Lin Xunkui begins to make the frame. Each pattern is moistened and stuck to the backing paper on the wooden plate before it is smoked with an oil lamp. When the paper dries off, the original pattern is peeled off and the template appears. The template and handmade paper are attached to the oil plate and the carving work can begin. The number of sheets of paper placed under the template depends on the craftsman's skill. A beginner can carve 5 to 6 pieces of paper at a time, while a skilled craftsman can carve around 20 almost identical pieces at the same time. Years of learning from his father has helped Lin Xunquei to achieve great skill in paper cut. His works 108 Heroes of the Water Margin and 56 ethnic groups have won him awards at national level art exhibitions and have now been collected by the Zhejiang Provincial Museum. For quite a long time, paper cut relied on the jewelry dragon for its existence. Nowadays, less and less local Yueqing people still work on paper cut, and the craft is slowly facing extinction. Paper cut has brought Lin Xunquei and his father lots of acclaim. Lin is as fond of this craft as he always was. However, economic considerations have forced him to shift his energies to making jewelry dragons.
There's always a demand for jewelry dragons. Orders come in quickly. But I am short of hands. Though I love paper cuts, I can't do it.
When Lin Xunquei first started the jewelry dragon business, his income was pretty disappointing. In Dongcai village alone, there were over 20 households competing for orders. Typically, a single household could only expect one order per year. What's more, the finished jewelry dragons have to be placed before the temple to be rated by the organizers. The dragon with the best craftsmanship will fetch the highest price.
There's the sponsors. Usually, each village has around 10 sponsors. They have the final say. Which dragon's good? It's up to the sponsor. He decides. But he has to use his rights in a fair way. People know what to look for. If the dragon is given a yes, the award is a load of millet. My father's dragon won the first place back then and got one boatload of millet. That was a lot at that time.
In the morning of the 16th day of the first lunar month, Lin received a group of guests. Because of the long production cycle of the jewelry dragon, orders are placed long in advance. Every year, during the Spring Festival, those in need of a jewelry dragon come to Lin's house to negotiate a favorable price for their dragon. The price varies according to the size and exquisiteness of the jewelry dragon, but it will come to no less than 30,000 yuan. Expensive though it may be, those villages that need jewelry dragons will choose organizers to sponsor their dragon.
Basically, this is a yearly routine for us. If a village doesn't have a jewelry dragon, people will mock the villagers. Where is your jewelry dragon? Show me. Is your village really that poor? So everyone has one.
After rounds of negotiation, the guests decided to order a medium-sized jewelry dragon at the price of 78,000 yuan. In recent years, Lin has received up to 5 or 6 orders per year, which can yield several 100,000 yuan. While that is a considerable amount of money, orders have fallen over the last few years. From the Han Dynasty to this day, the Lantern Festival has remained an important Chinese festival. It's also a tradition for many places to perform a dragon lantern dance during this festival. Xin Tiji describes the lantern show of Hangzhou in the Song Dynasty in this way. The trees are in full bloom. Stars rain down from the sky. Fish and dragons stroll about the streets for the whole night. People's lifestyles change quickly today, and many customs are disappearing. But the tradition of the dragon lantern dance is kept in some villages in Yueqing. From 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., the dragon lantern procession parades through the streets, passing every household in the village. When the procession passes his door, the villager will set off firecrackers, light a haystack, or burn incense sticks to pay tribute to the gods and pray for blessings and safety. If there is a family with a newborn or new house, the procession will make a special stop before their door. The host will prepare an incense table in the house and ask the dragon singer to chant some blessings.
In Chinese custom, no matter where you are, you must return to your hometown during the Spring Festival. This is the most bustling time of the year, so you shouldn't miss it. You can also join in the procession. That's the fun. The more people join in, the better the atmosphere.
Old customs change with time. Many traditional industries have disappeared over the years. The model Lin Shunquei is making is a traditional irrigation tool, the water wheel. After it's finished, it will be installed on the jewelry dragon as a decoration. Dongcai village used to be a village of farmers and fishermen, a way of life which has lasted for thousands of years. As the economy develops, various new industries have emerged in recent decades. Meanwhile, a great many traditional industries are fading away. Lin Shunquei has made many models, including fishing boats, windmills, spinning wheels, threshers, and stone mills. Most of these traditional occupations used to be part of his daily life, but now the only place left for them is on the back of the jewelry dragon.
Why would we make models of those traditional occupations? Because they represent the living customs of our ancestors. In the old days, hard physical work was something to be proud of. But nowadays, people only want to use their heads. There's no way we can get back to the old customs. So we put these models on the jewelry dragon to remind people how the land was plowed, how the water was pumped. We shouldn't forget how our ancestors did things.
After a period of hard work, the models of these traditional occupations are completed. The paper cuts are also finished. Now it's time to move on to the next step. A set of well-calculated gearing is the The remaining decorative work can be left to his daughter, son-in-law, and Mr. Xie. Like his father before him, it's time for Lin Xunkui to find an appropriate successor. His son Lin Qiang is preoccupied with his online retail business and shows no interest in the family trade, while his daughter Lin Xiaoqing has only mastered cutting paper. The only suitable person Lin can think of is his son-in-law, Huang Meng.
I hope this person, like my son-in-law Huang Meng, will do a good job and learn from me. I hope he can pass it down, or the craft will perish. Then the family would be incomplete. I inherited this from my father, and I am passing it down. I can do it. I can make dragons. But what about the next generation? I've taken over my father's craft. I've mastered it. But who comes after me? This worries me the most.
After a couple of months, all the decorations for the jewelry dragon are completed. The models are installed and the plastic figures are placed in the right positions. Lin Xunkui now only has to add the finishing touches. For the final step, the detailed paper cut is stuck to the movable door on the dragon tail. As of now, all the steps are finished. At the end of this year, this jewelry dragon will be taken away to fulfill its mission. Occasionally, during the first lunar month, Lin Xunkui goes out to watch the dragon boat processions. Joining the procession and watching people admire his jewelry dragon brings him the greatest satisfaction. The dragon boat procession lasts until 11 p.m. The jewelry dragon is then brought into the temple to start the dragon ascending ceremony. During the ceremony, the jewelry dragon is burned and the people's modest prayers are answered. At 12 o'clock, the ceremony starts. People struggle to saw off the dragon's keel, also known as the luck of the dragon boat.